Alwan Studios, and of course it's a very great day. We're going to be speaking about how local blockchain players are transforming the financial markets around the country. I hope you are doing great. Make sure you hit onto the notification bell to always get onto the more information coming through from here, and also making sure you share this particular link coming through. And now let's roll it. With me I have got, of course, someone from a local blockchain, and that is Celo Foundation. Their ecosystems lead is here to take us through the journey of Celo Foundation, how it is transforming financial markets around the country. So let's begin the journey. Do not end this now. Thank you so much for joining us, Umar. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me, Rita. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And this is Umar Sebiala, who is the ecosystems lead for Uganda at Celo Foundation. Please explain to us all about Celo, the product, the service, what you're doing, so that the viewer can understand where we're coming from.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me, Nalwan and Sarah. My name is Umar Sebiala, ecosystem lead, Celo Foundation for Uganda. I work with the Celo Foundation, which is a global organization, and we're trying to foster the adoption of blockchain technology, and our primary chain is the Celo blockchain. So as an ecosystem lead, I basically am on the forefront of product development within the market that I serve, and my role could be broken down into 3 phases. The first one is ecosystem growth, whereby we're looking at partnerships and collaborations in country. Second one is community, events, conferences, hackathons, and the third is strategy.
Okay.
Go to market, legal aspects of the market that you're playing in, and how basically you can be able to advise the foundation on how they can be able to roll out Celo within Uganda. Okay. So within a nutshell, that's basically what I do. And the Celo blockchain has been around for the better part of 2 years now. We've been able to see a development of a host of applications. Last I checked, around 100 mobile-based applications running right now on the Celo network. And we are on a mission to build a financial system that creates the conditions for prosperity for everyone. So it's a global mission that simply has presence in various countries around the world. Okay. And we're trying to leverage our core competencies in having a very fast, very cutting-edge blockchain platform that can be able to deliver on that mission.
Okay, so are you telling me that you're giving a platform for Rita to come on your platform, and then I develop my application? Does that stop there? Are there any products and maybe user cases you have that are already out there in the market?
Thank you so much for asking that, Rita. So like a blockchain, like any public blockchain, think of Bitcoin, think of Ethereum. These are pieces of public infrastructure.
Yes.
Anybody could come and be able to build an application on top of it, and depending on what use case they want to service, then that use case can come to life. So if Rita, as an app developer, comes to the Celo blockchain, maybe you build something that is going to solve a problem that is in remittances. People can be able to send money at a lower cost. Then, of course, you'll be able to get a host of support structures within the Celo ecosystem, from grants programs to technical support to basically even mentorship if you need that. And they can be able to help you ship your product to market. And we've actually seen a host of founders come onto our blockchain, and they've been able to actually give life to their applications. And these applications are live today. Like I mentioned, we have over 100 right now that can be able to be leveraged at in one point. They solve a host of problems, from remittances, savings, play to earn. Anything that can be done on a blockchain has already been piloted on the Celo ecosystem. So if Rita comes and builds an application on the Celo network, as we hope that you actually do come, we're looking for users, we can be able to give you a very robust support structure that can actually even get you to levels that you didn't even know were possible for your talent.
Okay, at least well explained. Thank you so much, Mr. Sebiala. And you have been in the market for 2 years now, like you say, and you have reached almost 100 app developers already, under Celo. I mean, what more can you tell us, shine a light on us about your statistics in the market, and tell us what determines your market actually?
Thank you so much for the question, Rita. Let me talk about the blockchain aspects of Celo, like anything else. There's usually a component of price. So looking at the general price charts for the market, looking at Bitcoin being the first cryptocurrency, Celo is right now ranked at number 82 with a market capitalization of around 454 million. That is
That's great.
Yeah, that is the network value of the Celo ecosystem right now. Because currently a coin goes for around $1, I say, and it has actually come down from an all-time high of around $10 per coin. So yeah, so the bear market has not really spared us, but we are trying to see how we can be able to build use cases because, like I mentioned, our mission is to build a financial system that works for everybody.
Yes.
So price is simply one aspect that we're trying to play into, but we don't really mind so much about the price aspect there. So when you look at what we look at in terms of adoption, let me zero it down to the case of Uganda. We have currently around 8,000 wallet addresses within Uganda. Wallet addresses, I mean mobile application users. There's a very, I would say like the de facto wallet for the Celo network called Valora, can be gotten from the Play Store, and it's basically a wallet that can hold your Celo assets. Celo as a blockchain has a host of digital assets that run on top of it. Celo is simply the first of them. Celo is the network governance token that helps you have a say. You can vote, you can stake your Celo. Then there's a host of other stable value currencies, the first of which was the Celo dollar, which is pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar. And folks are able to actually get Valora from the Play Store, and they can be able to hold their assets on their phone. So for the case of Uganda, we are seeing enormous growth from 0 wallet holders to over 8,000, close to 8,000. Yes, and these are people from your average 1 inch on the street to people who are actually developers on the blockchain. So we're seeing a very huge growth in as far as that goes. Then in terms of network adoption, we've processed over 140 million transactions since day one. That is, it's really a very high throughput number for a blockchain. So we're trying to actually have that even scaled up further, and we're trying to see how we can be able to explore more use cases that bring more traffic to the blockchain. This is why we go out of our way to kind of have engagements with the public, talk about what we're trying to do and how we're trying to make this a reality. So the more the users, the more the traction goes, and we can be able to.
Of course. And you speaking about, speaking to public, creating awareness for all that. Shine a light on how your financial, your financial system works. You just talked about at least the product, what we expect when we go to Celo. I can build something there, but how about your financial system? You are, encouraging towards, including everyone financially. How does it work?
Thank you so much for the question, Rita. And this gives me a chance to talk about the inner workings of the Celo ecosystem. Now, like a blockchain that has a mission like ours to build something that is global and works for basically everyone on the planet, we thought of building Celo as a mobile-first blockchain platform. So it is built as a full-stack solution that is scaled and optimized for the mobile phone. So seeing that the mobile phone is the biggest driver of financial inclusion, there are more mobile phones than any other consumer-held electronic on the planet. So it only makes sense to build something that is mobile first. So if you build that, then you can be able to leverage technologies like mobile money. As you can see, the adoption of mobile money in Africa and how it is actually even outrunning what banks have been able to do over the past 6 decades. Mobile money has only been around for around 10 years, one decade. So the philosophy of building Celo became mobile first, in that you can be able to leverage the penetration of mobile devices and phones to be able to kind of carry the network forward. So that is something that actually sets Celo apart from any other blockchain. We're a mobile-first blockchain platform that is also carbon negative. In that when you operate on the Celo blockchain, you're not polluting the environment. You're actually doing good because we actually offset all the carbon emissions over and above what we actually emit. So we're actually doing more than any other chain that will actually be in
I appreciate that. As you do all this, I've been following up on financial technological companies, their user case, how they go on board developing all these solution protocols. Are you putting in place, the level 1 project principles? I don't know if you use them at all, because I believe they're very important for transparency. If you are managing at least transactions, is it something that you're doing actually?
Yeah. And
does Celo hold transaction, management?
Yeah, that's a very good question that actually somebody out there would want to know.
Yes.
When it comes to blockchains, and this is like a rule of thumb, if something's actually a blockchain, it's something that could be public or private.
Yes.
Most blockchains are public infrastructure. Think of Bitcoin, think of Ethereum, think of Celo. So the transactions that are happen in the open. They're not really closed systems. So we can be able to keep track to know exactly who owns what, but you won't exactly put a personality to that address. So you know address X owns this amount, but not Rita owns this amount. Except if I actually send you funds and I know this is Rita's address, then I can be able to track you on that.
Okay.
But in terms of audit trails and being able to monitor transactions, all blockchains do this exceptionally well. And Celo is no exception in that we actually do take precaution in that. If you're building something that is going to be a global financial system, you simply cannot compromise on the quality of your tracking of transactions on your network, your reliability, and your security. Otherwise, if you fail on that, then you're not building anything, you're not solving anything. It's actually a problem coming into the world.
Indeed, and I have come to learn how you are driven by the purpose of solving, real world problems such as lack of access to sound currency or frictions of cash transaction. You've got programs aligned for alleviating poverty. I mean, this is so touching. And when we speak about alleviation of poverty, I know you must be now excited, like, okay, let me wait to listen on how I am going to get off this poverty burden. How can you assure us how you're doing this? I mean, alleviating poverty through Celo.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question, Rita. I'll just pick an example from what we've been able to see come to fruition. Among the various applications, and applications in blockchain are called decentralized applications because it's decentralized infrastructure. So they're called dApps. So dApps, one of the dApps that we've been able to actually see come to fruition is something called Impact Market. Impact Market is essentially a poverty alleviation protocol, decentralized protocol, in that you have donors and you have recipients on the other end. Anybody from anywhere in the world can be able to donate a Celo dollar, to a recipient anywhere else in the world. So Impact Market basically spins up communities of people who are needy anywhere in the world without the need of a central authority. They register themselves under one community leader, and that person is able to activate what is called a smart contract. Now, a smart contract is a piece of software that is able to automate transactions, and it can do Y when X happens, basically. You can be able to write rules in there that can be able to execute events when other events have been triggered. So under Impact Market, we're seeing that you're getting mushrooming communities of people who are needy. They will actually be able to live. They're currently living below the poverty line, per se. They are the needy.
When we speak poverty line, do we say below the dollar, like everyone highlights around, or you've got a rate that you're considering?
No, it's a global poverty line, the World Bank figures.
Yes.
So these individuals can be able to get a weekly unconditional basic income. Basically, you're getting, they range from around a couple of cents, 50 cents, to around $1.50.
Okay.
And these individuals can claim this amount after that period of say 7 days. And we're saying that there's actual impact on the ground. They are being lifted out of poverty because of this decentralized poverty alleviation protocol. And for the case of Uganda, we actually have a community. We have around 5, but one of the biggest is one called Faith Uplift, which is based in Jinja. It has 1,298 beneficiaries. These are people who are actually, they're poor per se. But now, those folks, each one of them can be able to claim up to $7.50 a week.
Okay, that is interesting, because I am wondering, a person living under maybe the poverty minimal lane, how are you even able to access maybe a smartphone to go on Celo or access any application? I mean, how do you reach out to them, or how do they reach out to Celo?
True. Now, like I said, Celo is decentralized, and for the case of Impact Market, you have community leaders. So a community leader is someone who can be able to verify that they have maybe 15 people below them, or 20, or 1,000, depending on how they're setting up their community. So within those individuals, they can be able to have a host of smartphones, and folks can actually have, the ones who have smartphones, it's easy to manage. Then folks who don't have smartphones can actually be able to sign up and get addresses. So the address can simply be tagged to an individual on paper, but when the claim comes, they claim as a group. So even the folks who don't have smartphones, they get the cash at a go, and they can be able to cash out as a group, and they get their Ugandan shillings. And this has been made possible by local exchanges like Benuso.com that is able to cash in, cash out, and exchange Celo dollars, which is our stable coin for Ugandan shillings. And this is helping individuals actually see real tangible change in their lives. That is a very good use case for poverty alleviation.
That is, it's impressive indeed. And how do you determine that we have made an impact, or we are making an impact? Is it through as well the community leaders that you have got that get onto that Smart Connect? How do you know you're making an impact, Celo?
Yeah, so for Celo, it's all about seeing adoption, because our mission is global. The more users that we have, that is when we say that actually we are making a dent in this. We're trying to build a financial system that works for everybody. So better remittance solutions, better savings, money that doesn't simply get depreciated by inflation, better security for your loans that you take out, better rates for your loans that you're taking out. The more that we see such products come to fruition, is the more that we see ourselves coming to the fore of success per se. Okay. So it's all about adoption, and the more that we can be able to see real world use cases coming to our blockchain platform, is the way that we feel that we're actually getting adoption and success is closer.
Okay, that is very great indeed. As we take on, because we're going to go in for just a break for just seconds, but as that happens, I want to tell you, in case you just joined in, we are surely looking at how local blockchain players are transforming financial markets in Uganda. And with me is the ecosystem lead for Uganda, that is from Celo Foundation. We're going to take a very brief break. Do stay with us, because we're still talking about transformation that you need to quickly hear about that. Thank you so much for joining us again. We're still discussing on the transformation that we want to see financial markets rolling out in Uganda. With me, this time we've got Celo, and the ecosystem lead for Uganda is here. As the ecosystems lead, this is Umar Sebiala here. What are your areas of focus in Uganda? Looking at how the economy is running on fast, can I even call it transition? Like, we're from middle income jumping over to whatever is confusing. I mean, what is the area of focus? How can we transform this slightly?
Yeah. Thank you so much for the question, Rita. And as ecosystem lead for Uganda, I basically focused on what our use cases are here. Uganda is the biggest host nation for refugees in Africa, with around 1.5 million individual refugees here. So we're trying to explore ways that we can be able to build use cases around these refugee communities and be able to give them financial inclusion. So maybe getting a Valora wallet within these communities, getting them onto impact market, because we've done it in Kenya with Kakuba refugee camp, and we're able to see around, I think, 2,000 individuals are already onboarded on the impact market app within there. So they can be able to get a basic income that comes in every other day, and they can be able to claim that. So we're trying to see how we can be able to have something similar to that within our context here, and we can be able to see what it's like to apply something that can be put out at scale, because we do have the numbers here and the use cases are here. Other than that, I've been trying to work out how we can be able to have effective cash in, cash out for Celo assets, meaning people can be able to get the assets and they can convert them for Ugandan shillings via mobile money, via walk-in counter exchanges, anything that can be able to facilitate that. Then also looking at robust partnerships, which fintechs can be able to come on board and build solutions that are use case specific for Uganda. So that is always top of mind. I'm always seeking out for new partners, trying to build relationships that are going to be beneficial to that adoption of Celo, and how we can be able to actually get that next person onboarded onto the
Indeed,
network.
for everyone to be included. And how is the journey so far?
It's
How challenging is it, or how easy it is? I mean, engaging communities, bringing them on board, you know, sharing ideas. Tell us how the journey is.
Thank you for the question, Rita. Like anyone in blockchain will tell you today, it's not exactly a bed of roses, because the concept has been tainted by scams. Uganda is a very hotbed of crypto scams. So people come, they claim to be doing blockchain and crypto, and then not people get defrauded. And by the time you come and explain, they don't want to hear about that. So that's really tainting the market. Luckily, we have an association, the Blockchain Association of Uganda, that is pulling together industry players that can be able to provide a single source of truth and guidance for the wananchi of the country to be able to understand that this is a scam, these guys are legitimate, and how you can be able to go around if you want to get involved with crypto. So we're having wins here and there. It isn't really all downhill. We've had our up climbs there, but on the general,
I know, even when we, as we speak, apparently there is someone saying maybe he's also part of the scam or the Ponzi scheme. So what is that unique sale that puts you out there to, you know, associate you or differentiate you really from the Ponzi scheme? What is that you go out confidently saying this is really what we do, even to bring someone watching you right now on board? Yeah,
so like we tell anyone anyone anywhere, if you wanted to get involved in crypto, verify, do not trust, please verify.
Okay.
So Celo's documentation is open source. It's on GitHub, it's on the internet. You can be able to, if you're a developer, you can read through the source code. If you're simply curious, plug into our communities and be able to see what the discussions are about. You find that most scams do not have robust communities, they do not have networks on the ground, and they don't really have a product that you can be able to see. But with Celo, we do have global adoption, we host conferences, we try to have a presence in the markets that that we can actually have presence there. And we also ask people to come in, look at what we're doing, critique if you need to critique, contribute if you want to contribute, and basically be a part of the community. So it's very open, welcoming, and we are open for anyone to come and see. Otherwise, scams don't do that. They simply want your money, and that's it. We're not asking anyone for money.
Very well said. And with all this ongoing, you know, in the country, scams, there is this, there is that, there is, you know, a lot of criticism around blockchain, more so when it comes to crypto transactions or trading generally. What needs to be done? What advice do you give to the world that you think needs to be done to improve financial market scaling around this country, even Africa's way?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rita, for that. And it's going to be the same thing that anyone will tell you here. The fundamental building block that we need to have in this space is education. Because looking at it from a higher perspective, blockchain is a branch of computer science. Computer science is not general knowledge. You need to have some bit of understanding to get this done. So we need folks that can be able to educate even the people at the grassroots to understand this, like they understand how money works. So if we get more education from people who are giving us legitimate information, like the Blockchain Association of Uganda is trying to do, I believe that you can be able to make a very huge progressive movement in as far as the adoption goes. Without education, folks will not understand and people keep on getting scammed and will keep on doing the same circles every now and then.
Okay, so for you it's about education, creating awareness. Do regulations really come for you?
Yeah, of course, nobody operates in a vacuum. And
no, I felt like maybe you're just contented with where we are now, everything, you know, trying to be in the sandbox. I mean, how long should we wait, in your opinion, perspective, generally?
The central
regulations.
Bank, our Bank of Uganda is a very progressive regulator, and the Blockchain Association of Uganda is actively having engagements that are trying to interact with the central bank to find a way forward for crypto and blockchain. Okay. So basically, we don't really have a time frame to know exactly when the breakthrough would come, but there are ongoing engagements that are trying to bring all the players around a round table to understand how can we best regulate this ecosystem, how can we work with you folks to ensure that you actually do get our seal of approval. So that is something that cannot be said about other countries, and we thank our central bank for being so proactive and progressive in terms of regulating financial markets within the country.
Thank you so much. And now we speak about how maybe you said earlier on how you organize events here and there for people to reach you to really compare and have genuine response from you. Any upcoming projects, any things you have done so far, a project, and then you've got feedback, please share with us.
Thank you for that, Rita. I'll talk about only two because Celo is a global movement.
Yes.
For the case of Uganda, we have a monthly event called the Celo Kampala Blockchain Happy Hour. That happens
Oh,
at
happy hour.
Yeah, happy hour. It's on every last Friday of the month at the Innovation Village in Ntinda from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Come meet the Celo ecosystem, talk about blockchain, talk about crypto, talk about basically Uganda.
Okay.
It's a Ugandan event for Ugandans. There's coffee, there are bites there, so you won't feel cold or hungry on the night.
We'll just come for that.
Yeah, in fact, you come and interact. You never actually become an evangelist for Celo. Then there is a second event that we're launching in Nairobi next week. It's part of the Celo. It's actually, the initiative is called the Celo Africa Web3 Fund that is targeting Web2 founders, people who are building currently in the current ecosystem that is contemporary, who would like to have a play in the blockchain space. So if you're a startup out there, startup founder trying to build an application that may not really have the product market fit that you seek, but you wanted to see maybe if you can be able to play out in the Web3 space, the blockchain space, this is an initiative for you. Please do check out the ecosystem page on the Celo website because we are launching this with Kenya first, but we'll be in Nigeria in August. We'll be in Ghana in September, we'll be in Uganda in October, and South Africa in November. Essentially, these are in-country workshops that are going to bring together Web2 founders to brainstorm about product strategy fit and investment strategies, because we do have some investment partners on the other end and also some technical partners. Because if you feel that you can be able to have an effective presence in the Web3 space, we provide the ecosystem that can help you launch and be able to be successful there. So funding strategies, technical support, and also basically mentoring you to be able to launch in this space. So that is top of mind, the Celo Africa Web3 Fund happening in Nairobi, Kenya. That's the first event on the 26th of July. Then by the time we come back home to Uganda here, October 25th, around there, we can be able to kind of leverage all our learnings that we've had over the course of the workshops there. Okay,
that's great. You know, a lot of people, when I talk to them and ask them about the market, the responses have always been like, you know, Rita, you cannot, you know, fulfill all the demand around. Like the demand is so huge and then there are few players in the market. I don't know if it is something that you can really buy. And then tell us your capacity about, you know, Celo. What capacity is there? What if a lot of people want to actually engage in? Do you have any limitations anyway in your products or service provision?
Okay, so thank you so much for the question, Rita. Coming from the side of the foundation basically fosters the ecosystem. We don't own anything there. We're just players there as well.
Okay.
So in as far as wanting to buy coins, I spoke about the coins that we have in the ecosystem. There's Celo, the native currency, which is used for governance. If you hold it, you can be able to stake it. You can be able to vote for elections and things like that because it's a decentralized protocol. So if, in case somebody wants to do something, you have to have Celo. You stake it and you can be able to have a say. So there's that is the first coin. And there are a host of stable value currencies, the first of which is the Celo dollar, CUSD, which is backed, it's soft pegged to the dollar. 1 CUSD is equal to $1 US. Then there's the Celo euro, which tracks the value of the euro, and the Celo real, which tracks the value of the Brazilian real. So if I need to get these tokens, you can be able to, there's deep liquidity, if that's the question. We're listed on exchanges like Binance, Coinbase. Locally here, there's Binusu.com, there's Bit2Big, there's Muda, there's and some other players.
Like how much assurance can you give the viewer? Because we saw recently what Luno did, and I don't know if you could really respond to that. How assured can can they be about the ups and downs of these tokens or these coins?
Thank you so much, Rita, because what Luna is essentially what we were, but we're just better at what we're doing. They also had a stable coin that was pegged to the US dollar, but the peg was not sustainable. And that is what really killed them off. That's what killed the protocol.
Okay.
It had unsustainable, I would say, yield that was simply snowballing,
Okay.
and that's what killed it. Celo we have a more cautious approach to what we're doing. A small reserve. All these coins that I mentioned, they are backed by a reserve.
Okay.
An over-collateralized reserve, meaning there is more crypto in the reserve than there is coins in circulation. So I think the last I checked, the ratio was around 1 to 2.7, meaning for each single Celo dollar in circulation, there's 2.7 other coins held in reserve. So whatever case scenario happens that, I don't know, something happens and maybe this crashes, there's more collateral than there is what is out in circulation.
Okay.
The other folks didn't have that. And
So there is a bit of assurance here.
Yeah.
We're concluding our discussion. Umar, please give us your take home and then maybe any last assurance, advice, or any take homes from you.
Thank you so much for having me, Rita. I would, if I had any calls to action to offer right now, I would ask folks to join our ecosystem. And let me just give 2 links. We're on Twitter at Celo.org. That's our Twitter handle. That's the global handle. Then also on Discord, chat.celo.org. Once you're on the Discord server, there are a host of channels on there that you can be able to get a lot more than I can actually give within this session here. So you can find your product market fit per se. You can find your community in there. There are even music channels on there if you like music. So it's that robust, just trying to bring the community together. Then come to the happy hour every last Friday of the month at the Innovation Village in Ntinda, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And we seek to have more organic interactions within the local ecosystem. Okay.
I'll definitely have to come to the happy hour. And Celo is CELO, so you can go check it out on the website. My name is Rita Caballero. We've been discussing how local blockchain players are honestly transforming the financial markets around and what better needs to be done for, transformation of you and I into this particular ecosystem. More will be coming up from here. Do not forget to subscribe, click onto the notification bell for notifications to always come your way, to also share this link. Rita Caballero. Till next time, bye for now. Thank you.